Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for calling off the wedding after my fiancé gave his ex closure without telling me? I, 28F, have been with my fiancé, Tom, 30M, for 3 years. He and his ex, Sarah, were together for 6 years before we met, and she's been a shadow hanging over us the entire time. At first, I understood they shared a lot of history, and breakups can be tough. But we're supposed to be each other's future now. We're planning our wedding, building a life, and I thought he was done with the past. A month ago, Tom got a random message from Sarah asking for closure. He didn't tell me about it, and instead of ignoring it or at least discussing it with me, he responded and met up with her. I found out when I saw a message on his phone that said, "Thanks for last night." My heart dropped. When I confronted him, he swore nothing physical happened, saying he stayed over until early morning just talking. I didn't believe him, and what's worse, he got defensive, calling me insecure for feeling betrayed. He says Sarah deserved closure and that I should understand since he's with me now. The more we talked, the more I realized he doesn't think he did anything wrong. I tried to explain how hurtful it was that he hid this, especially when he didn't need to, but he made me feel like I was the problem for being jealous of a friendship. But here's the kicker, Tom then had the audacity to tell me that this needed to happen so he could truly move on. He even suggested Sarah should come to the wedding as a friend to show everyone there's no bad blood. I was stunned. How could he think it's appropriate to invite his ex to our wedding, someone he apparently still feels the need to support? I've since called off the wedding, saying I need time to think, but my family and friends are split. Half say I should be able to trust him if he says nothing happened, and others think I'm totally justified. Meanwhile, Tom's been telling our friends that I'm controlling and making a big deal out of nothing, and now I'm second-guessing myself. Am I the bad person for putting my foot down, or am I overreacting to something that really was innocent? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for moving on so quickly after my husband left me? My 47F husband, 47M, asked for a separation on our 14th anniversary while we were away in a foreign country to celebrate. While we weren't as close as we used to be, we almost never fought and generally enjoyed each other's company and families. We do not have any children. The night before our anniversary, he brought up he wasn't very happy in the relationship but didn't know why. The next morning, I asked to see his phone and he said no. He said I would find flirty messages with one or more other women on it. He had made some female friends through school and work and he said felt like there might be someone out there who was a better fit for him. I said I did not want to do a trial separation, as I don't believe you can work on something if you aren't living together. If you wanted to separate, it would be final. He understood, but said it was something he had to do. After being away for only 2 days, we rebooked our flights home, flew home, and he packed some belongings and left. 7 days later, he asked to come home and we started marriage counseling. He had a lot of trouble admitting he had at least one emotional affair. The counseling was not helpful, he was defensive and not open to it. I suspect something physical happened with the other woman, but I do not have any proof. He had deleted all his flirty texts, Snapchat, etc., so I could not see them. After 4 weeks of living together again and attending counseling sessions, he decided he no longer wanted to try to save the marriage and he was leaving. He packed up and left a few hours later. He stayed with a friend, found a new apartment and signed a 1-year lease. I was devastated and even had to take time off work to process what had happened and attend individual counseling. After 4 weeks, I started to feel a bit better. I went out for drinks with a group of 4 coworkers that live in my area and found I really enjoyed one of them, 42M, a lot. I had only met him over Zoom before this. We started seeing each other a couple times a week. Quite quickly, it grew into a truly amazing, loving relationship. I've stayed in counseling throughout, as it wasn't easy to process the sudden ending of my long-term marriage at the same time as beginning something new. It's been about 7 months now. My ex-husband eventually decided he wanted to try to save the marriage again, but I declined. He says I'm TA for starting a new relationship so quickly, within 6 weeks of him leaving. Our relationship was over as I can no longer trust him, and he has hurt me immensely. I do not want a relationship with someone I cannot trust. Am I the bad person for moving on? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for not wanting to share my lottery win with my siblings, and now my family is furious with me? So, I, 34F, won the lottery a few months back. It was honestly the most shocking thing that's ever happened to me. One minute I'm picking up milk and bread at the store, and on a whim I just thought, why not, and got a lottery ticket. I didn't expect anything to come from it. I don't even play regularly. But somehow, I hit a decent jackpot. Not like hundreds of millions, but enough to really make a difference, you know? Anyway, I was ecstatic. First thing I did was call my mom. She was excited at first, but then like a minute later, she starts saying, "So, are you going to share it with the family?" Like, before I'd even processed the news myself. Some context here. I've got 2 siblings. My brother and sister have always kind of been, how do I put it, distant. When I had my son, he's autistic and needs a lot of support. It was pretty much just me on my own. They didn't offer help, didn't check in much, and it hurt, honestly. I love them, but I've had to go through so much alone. My mom, too, she was supportive in her way, but she was never really there in the ways I needed her. So, I was really surprised when she asked about sharing the winnings right away. And, to be real, my gut reaction was kind of, no. Where was this family takes care of family idea when I was struggling? I told her I wasn't planning on sharing the money, that I wanted to use it to secure my son's future, pay off debts, and just finally breathe a little. But after I said it, she got really quiet, then goes, "Well, that's really disappointing." That hit hard. Since then, my siblings have been calling me selfish and saying I've let money go to my head, and even my mom has hinted that I'm being greedy. She actually told me that my son needs a strong family around him and that I'm ruining that with my attitude. I feel awful now, second-guessing myself. Like, maybe I'm being too harsh? But I also can't ignore that they weren't there when I needed them. And it's not like I'm blowing the money. I'm planning on setting it up so that my son's cared for, because he might always need extra help, and honestly, it's always just been us. So, am I the bad person for wanting to keep the winnings for me and my son's future instead of handing it out to my family who never really helped us? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for freaking out after finding out mid-dinner that the guy we were with had slept with my girlfriend? My GF, 39F, invited me, M42, to go to a dinner party at her friend's house last night. I knew they had met on a dating app, and she had said they went on one date but decided to be friends instead. They hang out from time to time, and I had met him once before about a year ago, right after we started dating. I have no reason to believe anything is going on right now, but this is not the only ex she hangs out with. During the party, one of the other guests made a comment that made it apparent that it was more than one date and that things had gone much further than she said. I laughed it off in the moment, but asked her about it when we left, and she admitted how far it had gone. I sort of blew up, my clear asshole moment, because I felt that she could have been honest, and the fact that she wasn't made me look like an idiot in public. We spoke about it today, and I apologized, and she explained why she had lied about it. I don't know why, but now that I know the truth, I sort of feel less comfortable with them hanging out. I know I'm the asshole for blowing up, but am I the asshole for sort of thinking she should cut ties with this guy now? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.